Okay guys, and welcome back to the channel, Keeping It Simply Solar. So what we have here is the Guardian 6000 from a company called Opes or Oops, or I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Anyway, I saw this thing. I wanted to do a review on it so bad just to see how it will hold up under 6,000 actual watts. I reached out to Opes. They contacted me back. They told me I didn't quite meet the criteria to be a reviewer of their products yet. So I guess I'm going to keep working on the channel until they take me seriously. But in the meantime, I decided I was going to build my own. And you know what? We're going to get started building one right now. Let's go. Let's build our own Link 6000. Step one, our unit absolutely needs to be mobile. There we have it. Step two, we're going to need a platform to build on top of. Step three, we're going to have to make this a 48 volt system like they did when they created their Guardian 6000. So the Link 6000 has to also have 48 volts. Enter EA Sun, my favorite batteries. Okay, now let's connect these batteries in series so that we can take them from 12.8 volts to 51.2 volts. So let's get that started. We're going to be using these three cables right here to connect them in series. Let's get these nice and tight. And let's check our voltage. .1 volts. We are ready to go. Okay, we got our batteries connected. Our next move is our transformer. What this transformer will do is take the inverter, which is 240 volts, and make it so that it goes from single phase to split phase, and we'll be able to use the 120 side of it, 120 volts, as well as the 240 volts, the same way you would be able to do with the Guardian 6000. The Link 6000 is cutting no corners here. All right, let's get started. We now need a platform to put our inverter on top of, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's put that on our second platform so that the inverter can't touch any of the contacts. And that's perfect. Inverter time. This is our Y&H 6200 watt inverter. And it is single phase, which was cheaper. I got this for just over 300 bucks. I'm gonna put it somewhere in the video to show you where I got it and how much it was. And it was cheap enough where I really feel like we saved a lot of money. Let's say that our budget was $1,500 on this machine that we're building that originally cost about $2,500. we're trying to save ourselves at least $1,000. So let's get our inverter going. Also, we can add to these batteries. We can add another battery, another 48-volt battery bank to it. We can even add server rack batteries to it if we wanted to, as an extension to extend the life of this. So just so you guys know, they don't have a leg up on the Link 6000, not even a little bit. Okay. Might get a small shock here, small spark. There we go. That's very common. You could use a capacitor to charge it so that you wouldn't get that and you'd be able to avoid that. But for me, I mean, it doesn't really do any damage, so I'm kind of okay with it. Okay, let's tighten down our inverter. And we need to get another platform for our distribution station. So, okay, platform number 2. Oh, that is perfect. Oh yeah, that is perfect. The Link 6000 is coming together beautifully. Okay, so we need our distribution box. One distribution box coming right up. Okay, so we're gonna connect this to our transformer after we connect our inverter to our transformer. So let's go ahead and get that started. So here on the back side of the system, we have our transformer, and our receptacles are covered, which is a great safety measure that they added to this. And we're gonna make sure that we keep it safe while we're doing this. So let's zoom in so you guys can see exactly how this works here. And let's get started. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is put our inputs in. That's where the 240 coming from the inverter is coming in at. And this will set the pace for what it is that this transformer is designed to do. Okay. So here, you'll notice it has neutral, line, and ground. We're only gonna be using 2 of these because this is the input, so we're gonna be using the line and the neutral. So we're gonna get started with that. Now, when I do my connections, I usually make sure that my line is always black and my neutral is always white. And of course, my ground would be green. So we're gonna put the black into the line, tighten that down. Next, we're gonna use our neutral. And we're gonna tighten that down. She's on nice and snug, a little tug on it. Okay, now we're gonna put our covers back on just to keep it safe. Always safety first, guys, always safety first. Again, this is not a how-to video. This is just me sharing the experience I had with me wanting something so bad that I actually had to go buy the components to build it myself. If you decide to do this, you're doing this on your own. I actually hope you do it though, so that you can see what it's like to save this kind of money and still have what it was that you set out to get. Is it as pretty as the Guardian 6000? It's a matter of taste. But will it be as effective as the Guardian 6000? I do believe so. So let's get this going. Okay. So this is going to get plugged into the output of the transformer. So I'm going to show you guys a trick too. All right. Let's loosen up our terminals. Okay, now on this particular transformer, don't ask me why, because I don't know why, but you can actually get it to split the phase if you do it at this point right here, which is the input. And the way to get it to split the phase is you have to ground it on leg 1 of the 110 volt, which is crazy. I know what I'm saying. It's crazy, but you have to ground it there. Okay, let's get this straightened out. Get up in there. There we go. Tighten you down. Okay, that was not in there snug. Okay, that's nice and snug. Next, we're going to do our line. Let's get that in there nice and snug. Oh yeah. And last, we're going to do our neutral. Okay. Nice and snug. Okay. Now let's get our cover back on. Again, I do not know why putting the neutral and the line on one side and the ground over here splits the phase, but it does. I actually learned that from a guy on YouTube, and I was very happy to learn that little trick because it saved me money in that I didn't have to buy anything to split the phase. The transformer I already had, and once I learned you could use the transformer for that, oh, forget it. I was way too excited. Okay. There we go. You don't want to tighten it all the way up until you get the second screw in there for placement. Okay. Now we can tighten it all the way down on both sides. And we are done with our transformer. Connected. Okay. So pretty much the Link 6000 is all the way put together. Let's just let's view it from my favorite side. The side where it isn't so crazy looking. Okay. So here we are. We have our solar inputs already put in, so we just got to connect our solar to this and we should be good to go. We have our 240 input, and we're going to use this because I also want to make sure that this can charge in EV. That's right. I want the Link 6000 to be so great that it actually charges up electric vehicles. So let's get this started. Okay, let's plug in our solar and see what we got. Nice. She just came to life, guys. Okay. Nice. Okay. So it looks like it says we got 282 volts coming in. It says that the battery is at 53.8 volts and charging. And let's see how many watts it's charging at. Charging at 608 watts, 748 watts, 903 watts, 1053 watts, 1200 watts, 1365, 1500 watts, 1600 watts, 1800 watts, okay, And I'm assuming she's charged fully because the wattage is dropping back down significantly. Let's see. 55.2. Yeah, she's pretty much fully charged. So we're just gonna get like little remnants. Okay. So now that we know that that works, great in fact, we need to know what can it do. Looks like it maxed out charging at 56.8 volts. All right. So now we got to test it out to make sure it can run a dryer and to make sure that it can power and charge up an EV. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, guys. Link 6000 versus my dryer. Turn on our switches, transformer, distribution box, and let's also turn on our inverter. Let's get a better view so we can see. Actually, let's leave this view for a sec. There goes nothing. First I thought it couldn't take it, but it's powering it. It's powering the dryer, guys. Yeah, all right. Step number 2. Good job, big guy, good job. Plug back into the wall where you belong. And thank you so much. Now it's time to connect our EV. Okay. After having choked a little bit on the dryer, it seemed to have picked itself up and just kept going with the dryer. So that was test number 1. All right, let's go. Let's try our EV out now. So we bought this adapter to make it go from 13 to a 14, which is a 4-prong outlet. So we're going to use that. And today we're going to be using our ENLX juice box. Now, this is an EV charger that was discontinued for use in the Canadian and American market, but still works really good and charges at about 36 amps. So let's connect it and see if it powers up. Okay. Let's plug you in and see if you'll give us what we need. Hey, she's powering up. I think she's got to cycle through a few colors, and when she reaches like the magenta or like that color right there, that's the red it needs to reach. Let me see if I can get it so you guys can see it. Yeah, that's the actual red that it needs to reach, but first it's got to cycle through to check for Wi-Fi, so it's going to turn blue and all these other colors first. But I think the important takeaway here is that the Link 6000, in all of its portability, can actually power up all the things that the Guardian 6000 could power up. And for me, that's everything. Literally, that's everything. So guys, did I build my own Guardian 6000? Yes, I did. Did you guys join me while doing it? Yes, you did. Can we now power an entire house? Not to mention our dryer, not to mention charge an EV? Yes, we can do all those things. So, thanks for joining me again as Keeping It Simply Solar. Please like, share, subscribe. Just let people know what we got going on here, man. That we're making our own future possible. That we're saying we don't care how much the electric rates go up because we're going to make sure that we keep it affordable. We're going to have everything it needs to be independent and to live free of the grid if we need to. Again, thanks for joining us. Have a good one.